Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing. Now before we get stuck into that, just got a couple of things I want to go through with you. First of all, if you haven't listened to the latest episode of the In the Saddle podcast, where I teamed up with Mark Horosky, former jockey, Paul Callahan, and also as well Rainer Inns Racing, Neves Townsend, we sat down and we were speaking all things Cheltenham this weekend. And if you haven't listened to it already, there's links to it in the description box below, covering all the podcast platforms. We're covering Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. We're also as well now available on Google Podcasts. So if that is your podcast preference platform of choice, just hit one of the links in the description box below. And also as well, we had a good start today with my nap winning, and also as well, shout out to Neve as well. She tipped up the second horse each way in that race, Wild Romance. So yeah, nice start to proceedings, and hopefully we can unearth a few more winners for you. So if you haven't done so already, like I said, just click one of the links in the description box below. But yeah, going on as well to today's selections. In the end, we've had a good profitable day. First time in a while that the nap and the next best have won on the same day. Our nap, Does He Know, who was also as well our nap on the podcast, was an easy winner in the end for Kim Bailey and David Bass. Both been in great form, getting quite a few winners over the last couple of weeks, and the horse did it really nicely today. Would I want to be getting stuck into him for Cheltenham targets later on down the line, like the Ballymore? Probably not. A lot of these horses I normally find that win these early trial races are normally bang average kind of horses later on down the line, or bang average graded horses. You know, they're not really ones that have got the superstar X Factor kind of type about them. However, he might be a horse in time that would probably improve for a fence. He could maybe be a similar type to like Vindication possibly later on down the line. So yeah, nice horse Ken Bailey's got there, but one I wouldn't want to be getting stuck into for anti-post bets for Cheltenham. Also as well, we had like I said, a winning next best with Magic Saint. Thought Brian Carver gave him a fantastic ride, but he's now going to be in between the rock and the hard place where a few horses get there, where they're probably too high in the weights to win a handicap, but they're probably not quite good enough to win at graded company. He might be able to pick up maybe a grade 2 somewhere, but he would want good ground, and he probably is best seen over 2 miles. And I think maybe they want to put him away for a while, because he's a horse that I think will probably need a run, and then he'll need to come on, then he'll need it on his second run to show when he's going to be at his best. So yeah, Magic Saint, probably not a horse I would want to be getting stuck into for the future, but still nonetheless was a nice winner on the day. And also as well, the Longshot, Mr. Shakel, okay, yes, it was a 50-1 chance, but in the end just couldn't land a blow, and that was the only disappointment of the day. So yeah, it has been a good day for us today, and fingers crossed we can continue that into tomorrow's racing. And we're going to be looking for a hat-trick of naps. Our nap also as well won on Thursday at Clonmel, even though it was a loss-making day that day. So hopefully we can continue the nap form going and find some winners on Saturday, where we've got plenty of good racing, including some selections at Cheltenham. But we're not going to be going to Cheltenham for the first tip tomorrow. We're actually going to be going with my next best, which runs in the 132 at Uttoxeter with a horse called Pressure Luck for Josh Moore and Chris Gordon. Now, Chris Gordon, I often go on about him quite a lot because he's my local trainer, and he's always a trainer I always keep an eye out on his horses. And I know that he's got quite a lot of nice novice hurdlers to go to war with this year. And this horse is one of them, Pressure Luck. Horse that I remember seeing him, I was fortunate to be working at Kempton that day, and I was in the pre-parade ring and I saw this horse, and he was a really imposing type, and he was one that I wanted to be with for this season. You know, he's probably going to make a chaser in time, but I still think he can be a really nice hurdler this season for Chris Gordon, and he confirmed all that promise when he actually won on his hurdles debut last time at Newton Abbot. He did it in good style because he was headed at one point, but then he found another level and pulled it out of the bag and really did stay on really strongly in the closing stages. Now, the second place horse that day was a Paul Nicholls horse, and he went on to run a respectable race on his chase debut in a decent novices handicap chase won by Anamoy, who had some good form in the book already. So yeah, that bit of form franking isn't that bad there for Pressure Luck. And in this race tomorrow, he's going to probably have to beat the Skelton horse to win the race. But I don't think the Skelton horse, even though he was an impressive winner at Hereford, is that much better, or I don't think he's actually that good compared to Pressure Luck. I think Pressure Luck has a little bit more scope to come from it. And I think tomorrow as well, there's going to be plenty of rain around. And if it does get into the ground at Uttoxeter, I think he's really going to like it, our selection, Pressure or Luck, whereas the Skeleton horse, I think, might not like it. So yeah, even though, yes, he is going to have to carry the penalty tomorrow and also as well beat a last time out winner, I just think there's a lot more to come from Pressure Luck. And if it comes into a bit of a war of attrition, I think his stamina would come into play here. He's won a point-to-point over 3 miles as well, so that should suit as well. There, you'll probably be going up and tripping time, but I think Pressure Luck tomorrow's got a really good chance. Chris as well has been among the winners of late, and yeah, just a lot to like about this horse tomorrow. And I think a 2-to-1, that's a fair price there, and I think he could maybe go off slightly shorter. So that's going to be my next best. We then go with my long shot tomorrow, which is going to run in the Paddy Power Gold Cup, the feature race of the November meeting, the 2:15. And I'm going to be going with a horse here that I mentioned in the podcast, and quite a few people probably going to be turning off now and going, what the hell are you doing tipping this horse? But I really like the chances tomorrow of Sky Pirate to win to run a really big race at 16-to-1 each way, and that price at the time of recording was available with Skybet. Now this horse is trained by John Joe Neal, and they've booked Jonathan Burke tomorrow. He's doing a low weight of 10 stone 2, going to be carrying near, in fact he is the bottom weight in this race. But if you look at Sky Pirate as a whole, he has been a really frustrating horse. He's a horse that likes to travel there really strongly, but sometimes he doesn't always find that much. But I think he's had a few excuses along the way, and last time out he was having his first run at Wetherby after a wind up. Now he ran a really respectable race that day, and it was kind of the same old Sky Pirate, travels really well but just couldn't go on and win his race. However, when you look at the details now and the statistics for horses that have had a wind up, it's normally the second time you want to catch them after they've had that. So this is going to be the time tomorrow, I think, to catch them. And also as well, like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of rain around tomorrow. And if that's the case, you're going to be wanting horses that are probably going to have a little bit of stamina. And his stamina here could come into play. He finished 7th, I think it was, in the Kimure back in 2019 at the Cheltenham Festival. And I remember I actually backed him in the amateur race in this card a couple of years ago when Patrick Mullins was aboard. And if you go back and watch a race replay of that, he looked like he wasn't done with, and he still had a serious chance of winning that race. And he was brought down through no fault of his own. The horse in front of him fell at the second last, and Paddy Mullins hadn't asked really for everything there, and he was travelling with a lot of confidence. And I think if he would have won, if he hadn't fallen that day, he might have gone and won that race, and that was over slightly further. So we know he can stay a little bit further. Also as well, 2.5 shouldn't be a problem for him. That's a comfortable trip for him. He's a strong travelling type, and I think in a big field race like this, he could be tailor-made for a race of this nature, and I just think he's quite a big player in this field. Also as well, John Joe and Neal stable have been running fairly well of late. They've had a couple of winners. I remember, I think it was on Wednesday, they had a few winners. They had 2 or 3 winners, so the yard have been amongst the winners. And this horse tomorrow, carrying a nice low racing weight, I think it's got a big chance and could be overlooked in this market. And that's why I just think tomorrow it could be a bit of a surprise. I know it's a very good renewal of the race, and there's a lot of horses that could go on to bigger and better things. Could be quite a few nice horses later on in the season, and it is probably a race that will work out well. However, I just think Sky Pirate, he's rated 134. To me, he's always been a horse that I always think could win a nice pot, a nice handicap, and could be 140 rated plus horse in time. Also as well, John Joe Neal has won this race in the past, so I just think there's a lot to like about this horse's chances tomorrow, and I just don't think they're running here just because they're just having a run. They could have gone elsewhere with him, so the fact that they're going for a big handicap suggests to me that they still think he might have some unfinished business, and this could be, like I said, the time to catch him. And that's why Sky Pirate is going to be my long shot of the day. And I know a few of you probably think I'm absolutely raving mad considering he's finished second on his last few starts. We then go to the 250 at Cheltenham with a horse called Poker Play for Tom Scudamore and David Pipe. You can currently back this horse at 14-1, and at the time of recording that was available with Skybet, who are offering 4 places in this race, and I'm going to recommend an each way selection here. Now, I think the key to Poker Play is to catch him fresh. He won on his seasonal reappearance last season on his chase debut at Fosslas, when he won very nicely that day. And the more rain that comes for him, the better. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of rain tomorrow. And if you go back through some of his form, when he was running over hurdles, he bolted up in a really nice handicap at Uttoxeter, beating the likes of Evan Williams' Bold Plan, who's no bad thing, and also as well AC Milan, who looks like he might be turning into the horse we all thought he might have been a couple of seasons ago when he was a very good bump horse. So yeah, a lot to like about this horse if you go back through some of his form. Now, I will admit some of his efforts towards the end of last season were disappointing, but like I said, I think he's a horse that does well, very fresh, and he really appreciates testing ground. So he's going to have that in his favour tomorrow. Also as well, David Pipe's team tend to do quite well at this race, and also as well, he's going to be having his second run after a wind up, even though yes, he hasn't run since the festival earlier in the season, or earlier in the year, sorry. But I just think Poker Play, lots to like about his chances tomorrow, and don't discredit him. I think he's got a fair chance of being there or thereabouts come the end tomorrow. There's plenty of these in here that I think won't like the ground at all, and also as well have stamina doubts. Yes, our selection might have, maybe he might not have so much stamina as some in this race. However, I think the ground could really come into play for him tomorrow, and he'll handle it better than most. So for me, Poker Play is a big each way player in this race. We then go to the next race at Cheltenham in the 325 with a horse called Whatsupwithyou for Luca Morgan, claiming 7, who I think is a very promising conditional jockey, and he's riding for Ben Paulin tomorrow. Now, Ben Paulin's stable have been going not too badly of late. They've had a few winners. Remember, they had a nice winner at Carlisle earlier in the week. But yeah, going back to this horse, I thought he's quite eye-catching last time in a decent handicap. On the Friday at Cheltenham, he ran on into 7th place, and there wasn't too much in behind the winner that day. I actually did put up the bestie man in that race, and I know he is going to be running tomorrow, but I just think he's not a stayer. 3 miles and 2.5 in good ground is ideal condition, so I'll be staying away from the bestie man if you're asking me about him. But yeah, going back to What's Up With You, I think he's going to have a good chance in this race tomorrow. I think the key to him is softer ground. Now, we've only seen him once on really testing conditions, and that's when he bolted up on his hurdle debut at Ascot last season, winning at 33-1. But he beat some decent horses in there, no mugs, you know. So this testing ground might just see him in a better light. He's off a mark of 132, so that's, in my opinion, quite workable, because if you go back through some of his form, he finished 3rd behind Richard Rose up the straight, who's a nice horse. So no bad form there, and like I said, this testing ground tomorrow might just come into play for him. And also as well, with Luca Morgan claiming 7, in essence he's going to be running off a mark of 125, so there's lots to like about this horse's chances of running a good race tomorrow. Again, you can get 4 places with Skybet, who are offering current odds of 10-1, so that's going to be my tip there. He's going to be one of my extra tips tomorrow, and I think he's got a good chance of going very close. So What's Up With You, he's going to be one of my extra tips of the day, and fingers crossed we can have a good run there in the 325. We then hopefully have saved the best to the last with my nap of the day, going for the hat trick here. But we're going to be going for a bit of flat action, and there's a decent card tomorrow at Lingfield. They've got the Churchill Stakes, but this is the other feature race on the card, the Golden Rose listed stakes, and I thought the one to be on here was Good Effort for Ishmael Mohammed and Ray Dawson. Now, Ray Dawson's been going great guns this season. Really seems like he's turned a corner in his career. I actually know his agent, Adam Brook, and he's done really good for him, getting him some really good rides. And this horse, Good Effort, I think can give him another winner tomorrow and be another highlight in his stellar season this year. Now, this horse, Good Effort, he's going for his 3rd win in a row at Lingfield, and he had a little bit of a break, and we saw him win a handicap last time very well, giving away plenty of weight, and that was a good effort, literally living up to his name. It was a good effort that day, and I just think he is a horse that can now progress up in grade. He's better than a handicapper. He's probably definitely at least a Group 3 horse, and he's going to be taking on Judicial tomorrow, who won this race last year and probably does set the standard. But Judicial is going to have to give our lad £5, which could make all the difference. And also as well, our selection has got a good draw tomorrow and still free, so that's going to help. Judicial is out wider, and I just think this horse, Good Effort, has a lot more scope about him, and next season could develop into a nice sprinter at group level. So yeah, Good Effort, a lot of things to like about him tomorrow, and I think at 11.4 that represents quite good value, and with the £5 as well from Judicial, I think he's definitely the one they've all got to beat in that race. So yeah, solid chance tomorrow, I think, Good Effort, and that's why he's going to be my nap of the day in the 340 at Lingfield. So I'll quickly just go through the tips there. In the 132 at Uttoxeter, we go Press Your Luck, that's next best, 2-1 win only bet. In the 215 at Cheltenham, we go Sky Pirate as long shot of the day, 16-1 each way, 6 places Skybet. In the 250 at Cheltenham, we go poker play, 14 to 1 each way, 4 places Skybet. In the 325 at Cheltenham, we go with Whatsupwithyou, 10 to 1, 4 places each way Skybet. And then in the last tip of the day is the nap. The 340 in the Golden Race Stakes, we go with Good Effort at 11 to 4, and hopefully it will be a good winning effort from him. So, yep, they're the 5 tips for tomorrow's racing. If you haven't done so already, also as well, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up here on my YouTube channel if you're enjoying them. Also as well, don't forget to subscribe to more videos here on my YouTube channel. Also as well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to find out a bit more about myself, my website is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.